afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming along today to hear about the humanitarian crisis in Yemen. I am Redbridge and will be chairing the meeting. This is the first event for Redbridge Talks, and we are being supported by Ilford Momentum and Redbridge Trades Council. UNICEF have said that Yemen is the largest humanitarian crisis in the world, with more than 24 million people. Some 80% of the population is in need of humanitarian assistance, including more than 12 million children. A recent UN commissioned report by the University of Denver called Assessing the Impact of War and Development in Yemen. The report states that the combined death toll from fighting in Yemen from fighting and disease is 33,000 people, on par with Iraq, Sierra Leone, Liberia, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. Conflicts with an impact on development that lasts for a generation. Moya has said more should be done to stop this conflict, and more can be done. We will be speaking to our panel of distinguished speakers on the current crisis, followed by a Q&A session. Labour is fully committed to ridding the world of these weapons that hold enough power to destroy civilization thousands of times over. Please put your hands together for Fabian Hamilton.
Thank you very much for inviting me back to Ilford. My role, as Ray has said, is a new role. I don't shadow any particular minister. I shadow 5 different ministers. It confuses them, doesn't confuse me. And that's because there is no Secretary of State for Peace and Disarmament. Now there will be one when we win the next general election. We're not here, but I'm ready for that. What we will do is ensure that peace building and disarmament, peacemaking, conflict prevention and humanitarian relief is built into every part of our policies. Every bit of every external facing Department of State will have to abide by the policies of what we're calling the peace doctrine.
So today, what can you do? When people hear about what's happening in Yemen and our complicity in it, they get very angry. And that's understandable. It's impossible not to be angry about what's going on. But we actually need to do something. So, what I suggest is, firstly, if you're not already a member, you should join Stop the War. There's some silent leaflets here to show you how to do it, and they're but it's a very good way of alerting people about what's going on. So it's not simply getting the CLP or the trade union to say, oh, this is a terrible war. It's also about informing people.
Work for a transport trade union. One of our flagship policies, it's now Labour policy, is to bring our railways into public ownership. But at the same time, to bring our energy and water into public ownership. On the table, what else that Jeremy Corbyn, John McDonnell, and actually all of the people who are on the front bench, like Fabian, are standing for. Doctrine of peace when it comes to foreign policy. We'd actually have a government radical enough to reset the dial, to actually say we are not afraid to stand up to the vested interests of the City of London. Because if we're going to be able to have a government that turns around to the Saudi regime and says no more, the British soldiers and troops and technicians and civil servants and MI5 and whoever else are out there, you're coming home. So you're not going to be doing that again in the near future.
I don't think it's reasonable for the government to take the word of the Saudis over the words of the world's leading NGOs and the UN. But nevertheless, that was a decision the judges came to. So immediately, Campaign Against Arms Trade appealed, and that appeal was heard in the High Court earlier this month. This process takes a long time, but we'll see what the judges come back with. The second group of judges may say the first group was wrong, so fingers crossed. But it says a great deal about British arms controls, that the process of stopping arms being sold in this context has taken 4 years, and we're still not at the end of it, and all these people died in the interim. That says something about the whole system of arms controls, that it doesn't work. It's been proven not to work. So.